Start streaming. Now I gotta go with YouTube. Starting. Sending your content, your audience will see in a moment. Get ready.
Are we ready yet?
Live. The internet can totally.
Nailed it.
Why does that look like it's a quarter of the screen or less?
It's
What's
also
happening
super
here?
delayed.
But why is it like a quarter of the screen? Hey, people in the chat, can you only see a quarter of the screen? Oh, there's 0 watching now. Yay!
We did it!
What the fuck is going on here?
It might be because you have the preview thing open. That could be screwing up the fact that it's...
No, this is normal. You're supposed to have this up. I don't understand. Okay, let's unmute it.
Okay.
All right, so we got volume, so there's that on our side.
All right, so we got volume, so there's that. Try reloading
it. To our one viewer now, whoever you happen to be, is this only showing a quarter of the screen? Can you only see a quarter of the screen? To the people watching, can you only see a quarter of our screen in the video? Viewers, please respond.
No! They are all Russian bots.
All 5 Russian bots.
Yep. The only thing they will respond with is "Хорошо" and then a link. 2/3. Yeah, he's still seeing what we're seeing.
Okay, well, I've used OBS half a dozen times and I have no idea what the hell's going on. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. We're going to disconnect and we'll be right back. The only thing I changed.
Yeah, sounds like a try. Say hello to Super Chat.
Hey, we did it. Enjoy your amazing 720p. So basically, we're just going to screw around for 15 minutes until the actual stream starts. Because, well, there's no one here. Because we told people 6 p.m. and so we don't want to lie. But we wanted to get the stream going, so.
You're already a liar because now you've got the stream going before 6 p.m.
All right, well, we're going to turn off the stream, and we'll be back in 12 minutes.
I did it.
This was a test.
Where's the stream complete?
Stream resumed. The stream is continuing. Oh. Okay, we're back for real. We wanted to play a joke on you guys. It's because we're so funny.
I know.
I think that's it. We're done. Thanks, guys, for coming. We've graced you at the heights of what our comedy can offer.
Another zinger, Will. You sure?
Can we drop this now?
I sure got him.
So, Joe, how was your day?
It was fine, I guess. It's kind of a crappy week, though. This is awkward because I don't know, like, if I should look at the camera or look at you as I talk, or look at neither. So you're like, yes, I'm
Joe, how was your day today?
Well, think about it. There are a lot of like bloggers out there that do that, like where they'll like talk to the camera but be addressing the other person. It's awkward. Also, I think often if you're doing some sort of stream, we wouldn't be sitting directly next to each other, so I have to like 90-degree turn and look at you. And then 90-degree turn back.
Okay, someone just said, make sure you're recording locally. If you want to archive this, there may be no recording if you use low latency, which we're using ultra-low latency because the ultra-low latency makes it so that we can reply to things in real time, as close as possible.
Can you record off of your software or whatever?
Yes, I'm going to start recording at 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fuck all of this noise. Wait, can I not swear? Are we gonna get demonetized if we do?
Who's ever monetizing this?
What? We're gonna make those sweet bucks off of like the 15 people who are gonna watch.
Who said anything about monetizing a random stupid live stream? You're right. Let's monetize it, and I'll put ad breaks every 30 seconds the whole way through.
I feel like there's no flaws to anything you've said so far. Like, this is all completely reasonable.
30 seconds each per ad.
And the ads are going to be those, like, 3-minute long unskippable.
Did you ever get the one YouTube ad that was like a short film that was like 20-some minutes long? It was like a short documentary.
I probably got the first 5 seconds of it.
It came up once and I couldn't skip it. And I was like, okay, that's what the refresh button is for. It was like a 28-minute short film.
Oh.
And it was like, it didn't have the skip this ad thing up there. I was like,
see, the interesting thing is...
guess it's time for no more computer.
The interesting thing is, like, when ads come up, if they're actually something intriguing, like a movie trailer I haven't seen that I'm kind of interested in, I will watch it. But if ever I get an ad where in the first 5 seconds they're like, don't click the skip button, this is really important. Skip. Don't care what it is. If you click the skip button, 28 orphans will die. Sorry. You didn't make it interesting enough.
Turns out it's happening live, and the guy just saw you click the skip button, and turns around with an AK to 28 orphans. He's like,
sorry,
sorry, kids. You pressed the skip button.
He had to make it more entertaining.
And now, unfortunately, you all have to die.
You have to die for this overweight Wisconsin man's hubris.
It's like there's no way they could possibly be killing 28 orphans, right? Right?
I should think about this for. Oh wait, skip. I need to consider the possible ramifications. Oh, look, I need to get to more PewDiePie, okay? Beep.
The thing is, we both do watch PewDiePie now, so that cat's out of the bag live on the internet.
To whoever is watching us, all 11 people, why are you watching us and not watching PewDiePie right now? Honestly. His content is pretty hilarious, I must say.
I'd give it a 4 out of 10. Stop. He's gonna demonetize us.
Yeah.
You clap twice.
You give it a 4 out of 10, but would you give it a 3.99?
This is not what this is gonna be. I'm putting a stop to this right now. We are starting this officially in 6 minutes, and it is not going to be PewDiePie jokes when people start when more people start watching.
When they start flooding
at 1 per minute. We're not going to be doing PewDiePie jokes. That's not what we're going to do.
I feel like okay, so I guess I should refresh it maybe.
Oh, you got an ad for our stream.
It looks like we monetized.
For the record, monetization and monetize with ads is not checked.
Oh, we just got an ad.
This is YouTube being like, no, too bad. We'll make money if you're not gonna.
Yep. I have the okay, so if I take my phone out here on the stream, folks, it's because I can actually read the comments here, and I cannot. Like, I can barely read them over there.
And if I take it out on Nicholas Castaneda for talking about random anime during the stream, or as he put it, amine, you deserve it.
Nicholas Castaneda, more like Castanada. I'm going to hang on this one.
I have no choice. You dug your own grave.
Got it. We'll fix it in post. I'll make it look like it was yours.
We'll cut it. We'll just abruptly cut to a horrible close-up of you, and then...
Yes.
Oh my god. You're the worst.
Yeah.
You're just the worst human. We got a solid 4 minutes of bullshitting.
I do like the uncomfortable contact as well.
That's only
Because
uncomfortable for you.
Because we're crammed into this couch. We have to be making knee contact this entire time.
Well, I have to man spread. I have no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
My legs don't stay together. Whoa! Next, in my email, I got a tracking number for a shirt order, and I clicked it and it pulled it up in my phone because clearly, you know how many 24-digit phone numbers there are. The fuck, Samsung.
I wish to call Slovenia. Hello.
Yes, for those watching. Fuck, now my email's gone.
Yay.
All right.
Nicholas
So
Castaneda.
see what happens is with this shitty phone is, and I hope this is not even visible. All right, it's not even visible.
Got it.
Whatever. You tap on the stupid ass phone. There's a huge tracking number, and it's lit up blue like it's a link. And I tap it, and it brings it up as a 24-digit phone number because clearly that's what needs to happen there. Let's call it.
Oh.
You don't say. The call cannot be completed.
Well, did you put a 1 in front of it? You gotta remember the country code, man.
Recents. Place call to 93748. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Samsung.
Don't imagine you have any water. I know it's a luxury in these types of places.
No, I don't. Besides, you only got 2 minutes. It's not enough time to get out all the way around, go fill up a glass, go fill up the Brita, wait for the Brita, come back.
Well, yeah, it's definitely not enough time for any of that. Why don't you hand me that salt shaker? That will help my thirst. That will quench my thirst. Nicholas Castaneda, back at it again. Just throwing anime reviews.
Nicholas, let me tell you what this stream isn't. Producers chat. I mean, eventually it might be, but what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to talk about actual things. So,
there will be a question and answer section. Please hold your questions until the end.
I'm just going to start recording now.
Okay.
Let's see if that fucks with things. I wonder, can it record and stream at the same time? So far, the answer appears to be yes.
Oh wow, the light from your TV is like totally shifting the actual color balance.
Oh my god, it is.
Yeah. Can you like dim your TV at all, like from how bright it is?
We're starting, and this is
all
what
right,
we want to do. Give me the remote. Jesus. Welcome to our stream, ladies and gentlemen. Be riveted as I lower the brightness on my television.
You're the one that was complaining about the color.
No, I was not. This is all okay.
My God.
Take your idea and blame me for it. You tremendous fag. All right. Yes, darkening picture. That's exactly correct. Good for you, TV. You know what?
Darkening edge dark.
I have to bring this. I have to put this up
That's
because
fine.
I need to see that.
No, I understand.
Okay, everyone, welcome to our stream. We're here because we haven't put out a video in like 5 months.
Yeah.
Has it been about 5 months?
Probably.
I think the last one was in November. It was Nanoha Part 2. So, right up, you did that because I touched your arm, didn't you?
Probably. Also, I'm just thinking about the fact that we didn't introduce ourselves yet.
My name is Will Ryan.
And I'm not Will Ryan.
You know, when you said we haven't introduced ourselves yet, I assumed you had like a great zinger waiting, and there was just nothing. There was absolutely nothing.
I feel like that was the zingiest thing that it could have been.
Oh,
what?
Jesus Christ.
Hey, I got
more than you deserve. All right, so the first important announcement is that Nanoha Part 3 will be coming out Monday, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock Central Time in the afternoon. It's about when we publish the videos. So
1 o'clock,
that is happening.
2 o'clock, 3 o'clock rock. Or
You can leave anytime.
yeah, got it. I'm out of here.
So that'll be out on Monday. Now, that's the most important announcement. But besides that, we wanted to talk about why it's been so long since we posted a video. And this is kind of, it's some kind of dark territory. It was about a couple months ago now.
What's actually happening right now? Like,
Oh, God.
there's some
damn it.
announcement that you're making that
No.
I'm not aware of.
Fuck, I couldn't do it without her.
There's a botch.
Well, see, what happened was,
Bad take. Let's just do
yes,
a takeover.
let's do the takeover.
So
I had this whole thing planned, and I couldn't do it without laughing. Fuck. Okay, so this is the spiel I had planned. See, Joe came out of the closet as gay, and he was rejected, and he disappeared off the planet.
Yeah.
He was gone for a month and a half. We couldn't find him anywhere. And then somehow we located him in Idaho. We found him laying on the side of the road, half dead after what I guess was a brutal 16-man orgy. And he's needed some recovery time.
Potato fuel. A brutal Idaho potato fuel
gay orgy. And he's needed some recovery time, so that was the whole thing I had planned.
That was really
and
wrong.
I tried so hard to not laugh.
But the problem here is you were trying to seriously say that not only did I come out as gay, but I was rejected by the person I confessed my love to, when I am like the most squishiest of teddy bears ever, and
It's entirely believable.
Any gay man.
Who said the person you confessed to was gay?
Oh, that's right. You did tell me.
You
did tell me that you were straight that day, so I guess it all makes sense now.
So anyway, what actually happened was basically after I finished part 2, Joe volunteered to write part 3, and so while he got to work on that, I started kind of sinking, and I got to a point with work with my actual full-time job where I was feeling really stretched in terms of editing and getting all this stuff done. And I felt like I was just going through the motions. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to actually like, I wanted to actually put my everything into it so that it could be a product that I was happy with. But I didn't feel like I could do that. I was tired. I was stretched too thin. And so...
Tired from all the gay orgies.
Yep. And so... What happened?
Stretched too thin from all the gay orgies.
I should have just done this by myself. Clearly. This is just...
Right, but if you'd done it by yourself, there wouldn't be so much laughter on my part.
Okay, hang on. Can you guys not hear us?
Mm-hmm.
I have Shadow Wolf Rising. No, seriously, what are they saying? Can you understand us?
No, they can hear us.
Oh, okay.
I think Shadow Wolf was thinking that you were being serious because of how you were saying.
Okay, all right, great.
He's saying, what are they saying like that?
Okay, fantastic. Everybody can hear us. So, what happened was...
Well, also he said his internet's loading poorly, so it's slow.
Okay. So, basically, what happened was, in that mood, I was like, okay, well, it's time for Nanoha Part 3, and I just couldn't bring myself to put everything I had into it. I just couldn't bring myself to, like, Nanoha, I hate it. Sorry. But
spoilers! Will hates Nanoha.
But it was
extra
on top
spoilers,
of that,
I might also hate Nanoha.
It was on top of that I was already really tired and everything, and so that just kind of started spiraling where I didn't want to do it if I couldn't put everything into it, and I couldn't bring myself to put everything into it, and down, until I was just completely like couldn't work on anything at all because I knew it was going to turn out to be shit. Even if that wasn't reality, in my mind I knew it was going to be below my standard, and therefore it was going to be shit, and so I didn't want to do it. then finally, and I should also say during this time, like I didn't even understand really what was happening. I was legitimately like wondering, do I actually just not want to make videos anymore at all? There was a point for about a day and a half where I was seriously asking myself that question. The answer is no.
Asking me that question.
Asking him that question too. Yes. The answer is no. We're still going to be making videos. We're going to talk about our future plans in a little bit, but basically, eventually, what happened was I got out of that. The time off helped. I'm completely acclimated to my new job now, and so now I feel completely comfortable spending the time necessary to edit videos, and so now I feel very good about finishing these videos, and that's why there's a new one ready for Monday. But part 4
will be much more timely.
Yes, part 4. My goal is to have it out in less than a month.
Yeah. Like,
don't hold me to that because I'm a horrible person. But yeah, ideally, less than a month will be part 4, and then Nanoha will be done. Well, and then Joe, what will we be doing?
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. I think with the Nanoha writing process and everything, we found a good groove with it because part of what was so tough about doing it in the past was Will was shouldering like 90% of the creative.
They're saying that you're kind of quiet, so I'm going to turn this up.
Sure.
Okay, now we're louder.
I am a quieter person than you. Will was shouldering like 90% of the actual creation process. Like he was writing the scripts and editing the stuff that we filmed and like publishing it and doing all that. So it really helped. What we ended up doing is I've taken over the script writing process to essentially handle that workload, and then when I provide him with a script, we do revisions of it and make sure everything is good, and then actually, film it. And we film pretty fast. We usually can take care of it in a couple days.
Yeah.
Depending on, if we have to do skits and weather permitting and all that stuff. And then when he gets to editing, that's his jam. That's your wheelhouse because you've been doing that for years now. So
I hate it.
You hate it, big bitch. But yes.
So I hate editing because I have to use Final Cut Pro because I don't know Premiere, and people are like, "Oh, it's exactly the same." It's like, yeah. Have you ever used any other software aside from Adobe Premiere? Maybe it's easier, like going from Adobe Premiere to Final Cut. Maybe. But I opened up Adobe Premiere and I tried to find stuff and I couldn't find anything. And I spent like an hour dicking around and I was like, I'm not taking the classes. Yeah. So. But yeah.
So your thought from before, you said, what are we going to be doing after?
Yes, what are we doing next?
Gay orgy?
No!
Cover by cover season something?
Season something. You don't even know what
It's been so long! Is it season 4?
Yes!
Oh, yay! I do spring this on me. You said, hey, Joe, come over. Let's do a stream. Okay. What's it going to be about? Stuff. Like, literally, his fucking text is like, we're going to talk. And now he's asking me questions, put me on the spot. I don't fucking remember what season it is. You're like one of those people who goes up to an actor and you're like, do you remember this role that you acted in 15 years ago? Could you tell us about your
15
process?
15 years ago?
Yeah, and the actor's like, I don't fucking know. It's like somebody watching up to Tom Hanks and being like, you remember when you were Forrest Gump? He's like, I kind of. It's so long ago. How do you remember this shit?
It wasn't 15 years ago.
Well, that was
15 years ago. 15 years ago.
It was like
we were still in high school.
It was like 15 years ago. Practically.
Oh my
almost goodness. 15 years
ago. Jesus Christ.
Cover by cover season 4. Yes.
Yeah, the thing is, like, we've been working on it on script. We've been working on it in the background while doing Nanoha and while I was doing Rumbling Hearts and stuff like that for quite a while.
And Moribito.
It's been before. Oh my god, I forgot about Moribito.
As well, you should have.
It was such a quality, memorable show that it left my mind at the moment I stopped watching.
What was the name of the main character?
Balsa.
What was the name of the little boy?
No idea.
Why do you remember Balsa?
It was something
because
like
Balsa wood.
All I remember is that he had grit. That's the only thing.
Oh, he had so much grit.
No, wait, it was. No. I was hoping to do random association because him and his brother had almost the same name.
Kankashi and Pampashi?
I was hoping to go Kankashi, Pampashi, and that would like mentally relate to that. But
Somebody in the testicles. That's the name. Testicles. Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
I think that's enough for a stream.
Did
Disconnect.
you just pull a plug?
No, I was hitting the button. Like,
Oh, I thought you were like, oh, let's pull the plug on this stream.
I was hitting the button, but then I realized I was getting distressingly close to your dick, so I stopped.
Distressingly close? Like,
that's too close!
Within 5 feet? Technically,
That's too close!
You're currently distressingly close.
Oh,
God. Alright. His brother was Wimple. You're not helping!
I'm bleeding, making me the victor.
Yep. He died of overwork. he made his Japanese future children proud.
I remember when I was in high school and I had to write a whole bunch of term papers in a row and I was up really late writing. And finally one day I was just like, man, that's a lot of writing. And then I died.
Like they were like,
it was way too much work.
Like someone, like while he was off screen, someone was like, "Oh, they're pushing him so hard." And then it comes back, and he's just like sitting there staring out a window with a bird in a cage. And then he'd turn around and like write something on a scroll, and just go back to staring out the window. It's like, oh my god, man,
he's hard work, man.
He's got it real rough. But
the former king suddenly died.
But yeah, we have cover by cover season 4 coming up, which is 26 episodes, which is our Anime Legends season that was promised 2.5 to 3 years ago.
Somewhere in there.
At the end of cover by cover season 3.
Were you back when you were a much larger man?
Yes.
And I was a slightly larger man.
Yes, this is true. So that's what's coming up, and then after that we are going to be doing the also promised more than a year ago now, 25 the hard way of Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be
I
doing
totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's been fucking ages since we've done this. Like, what?
Oh. It's not my fault.
That's
wait, it's almost exclusively my fault. Are you guys set up for Super Chat? No, we didn't want to give the weird impression that we were going to be like. We didn't want to give the impression that people should be tipping us to come on and explain to you why we haven't been releasing videos.
That is like oddly egotistical though, and I could see a YouTuber doing that.
Yeah.
Like, did you guys like our content from before? Well, pay us money and maybe you'll get some more. That's douchey.
Yeah, that's why I didn't enable it. I was going to, but then I was like, because like
maybe next
I loaded
time.
up
Once we're actually releasing content, if we decide to do streams again in the future like this, then
yes.
maybe next time. But not.
Because there is the possibility of us playing video games poorly, like together, and streaming it as a joke. Occasionally. This is not going to be a series. It's not a promise that this will ever happen.
It sounds like an untapped market to me.
Like occasionally, if we finish filming and we've got a night, fuck it, let's just randomly throw up a stream of us sucking at like Enter the Gungeon or I don't know, co-op games. I don't play them very often. But anyway, the other thing. I'm sorry, I just got distracted by Naruko Uzumaki's comment. I have never seen a black man quit an anime so hard before he threw my table after watching Rumbling Hearts.
What?
That's
kind of awesome.
Is that a joke or? All right. So yes, new video on Monday, and then part 4 will be up within a month, and then there'll probably be about a 1 to 2 month period, and then when cover by cover resumes, it's important to know after Nanoha part 4, there'll probably be about a 1 to 2 month gap where we might do like some random stuff. But
to get the
we like to do is get 5 or 6 videos ahead, because once the season of cover by cover starts, it will be 1 episode a week.
Yeah.
We don't want that's the schedule we don't want to betray.
Right, and that way we cover for like holidays, vacations, emergencies, things like that prevent us from filming for a week or something. We have that backlog caught up. So
yeah. So we got that, and we're gonna have that going soon. I would expect.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
I don't know about the scripts that you've written so far, but the script. So for cover by cover, the way that we do that one is we divide it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like we each write a handful of scripts for the season, and some of the scripts I've written, not to toot my own horn or anything, but they're fucking awesome. Like I was going back and looking at some of the stuff I wrote because I have it all on my thumb drive when I was cleaning out some space, and I'm going back and I'm like, oh yeah, I wrote this like 6 months ago, and I'm reading, I'm just like. I accidentally wrote gold.
Yeah, I've got some good scripts too.
It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
Cover by Cover season 4 is going to be amazing.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the future. That's what's been happening. That's that's a new episode on Monday to bring everything current. Let's open up to the chat. So, Jefford Montaigne, thank you for your comment. Please leave.
You're sick.
I don't know what's sadder. You watching us or
us
awesome. Putting on a stream to explain to our viewers why we haven't been releasing videos? All right.
Jefford.
Thanks for stopping by. Jefford. Hey, support us on Patreon.
What a cool guy.
Jefford Montaigne. Support us on Patreon, Jefford Montaigne.
All right, we do have some questions from up higher. I'll scroll up and get them. So, Craig Palmer asked, Kankashi and Pampashi was Samurai Gun, right? Yes, they were.
Yes.
Kankashi and Pampashi, Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yes. Kankashi, Pampashi. And there was...
They were sprite rips. They were Ryu and Ken with the same color gi. Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was an experience, that shit. That Samurai Gun. That was the worst anime. It was the worst. It was the most offensively, like, engagingly bad anime I've ever seen. Like, it was the kind of bad where I was like, what the fuck is this? As opposed to like a terrible anime like Haibane Rende where I was just falling asleep. That was just boring. Samurai Gun was not boring, it was infuriating. And so it was angry the whole time, which is a different variety of bad.
It's a kind of a normal state of mind.
Steve Chimpanzee's question is, what is this?
I don't know, Steve Chimpanzee.
What you found is called YouTube. It's a video hosting service. I don't know how you made an account without realizing what it was. It's impressive, really.
There was a typo. He forgot the part where he says, I'm 12, and what is this?
What is this?
What this actually is it's our live stream of Fortnite Battle Royale. Where we will be playing Fortnite and highlighting super
it's the Resident Evil reference. What is this? I got it! I got it! Because I was like, what is this? I said that. That was the only thing I could think of.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, does anybody have any questions for us before we get out of Dodge? Because we just wanted to make sure that we had been silent for quite a while, and I actually wanted to do this last week, but by the time I thought of it, it was Thursday, and I wanted to get a webcam that I could put on a tripod to actually do this properly, so it ended up getting pushed back a little bit, but...
Courtney Amber, it's nice to see you again, too. ASL?
So, what? What did you say?
ASL. It's old internet online lingo.
Oh my god. It has been like 10 years.
Oh,
or 15 years. ASL, age, sex, language. Is that what it is?
Couple questions. So Darth Bobcat asks for any recent recommendations. We'll get there in a second. Craig Palmer. The bad fanfiction video, I actually have footage of the bad fanfiction panel from this year's Anime Milwaukee. I have it on my computer at home. I actually picked up... So, I'll give the story of this real quick, because I think the viewers will get a kick out of this.
I wanted to talk because it was my fault.
It is completely your fault, but I'm going to tell it so I can fucking rub you in the dirt where you belong.
No, I'm going to tell it because it was my fault. So what happened was, I booked our panels for Anime Milwaukee, like always, and I had some interactions with that creepy reading regarding, because he attends, we all attend panels or conventions. Let's just say we arrive together. He kind of has his own whole, like, he wants to celebrate being at a convention, explore every aspect of it, where we're more like, oh, maybe we'll go to a couple panels, we'll go to the dealer's hall, kind of hang out for a bit. Maybe we'll watch, if an anime catches our eye in the dealer hall, we'll buy it and go back to, we've been to like 36 conventions now, so like, the rigmarole of it, and we're kind of jaded. So we like to experience very few things that are still very interesting and exciting for us. So he contacts me and says that he's going to try to get himself in as a special guest, which did not work out last time because Anime Milwaukee is run by assholes. They basically, that Creepy Reading has over 150,000 subscribers on YouTube, and their legitimate verbatim line to us was that there was nothing in it for them to have him as a special guest. So they're assholes. Meanwhile, Minneapolis, we contacted them and they were like, yes, please, we'd love to have him. Here's the information we need from you guys, like instantaneously. So what happened was, he contacted me to say this roughly a month before the actual convention. Or 3 weeks, rather. So I hadn't forgotten the actual date, and I thought, oh, it must be a couple months out then. Must be in March. A couple weeks later, I'm in bed one night after having a hellacious week where a ton of ridiculous shit went on. And it's Thursday night, and Joe texts me asking me about what food I'm bringing to the convention.
No. You missed the part where I was texting you throughout the week, asking you questions about the convention. Now, the problem was, in my text messages, there was never a point where I said, hey, the convention's this weekend, because I figured he was on top of it.
Yes.
But I was texting him, asking, like,
did
we get promotional material? Yeah. Like, we talking about hooking up with Otaku Joe and getting some like promo stuff that we could give away.
That's right.
I was texting you throughout the week, and you were like, yeah, cool, and then...
And I just thought these were ideas he was having because the convention was, in general, approaching. But yeah, he texted me Thursday night, like, what kind of food are you bringing and shit? And I'm like, why is he asking me this? Like, what? And then I was just like, no. No. And I pulled out my phone, and normally Friday and Saturday are my days off at work, and it wouldn't have mattered. But I had switched shifts with my coworker, and I had to cover his Saturday shift on second shift. And I pull out my phone, and I look at it, and oh my God, it's this weekend.
So he proceeds to text me back, just like, I can't believe I forgot it was this weekend. I am covering my coworker's shift. I can't go.
I'm sorry, you've forgotten a very important sentence, which was, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. You apologize somewhere there. So my response, of course, is like, so let me get this straight. I have 4 hours of panels now that I need to do. A 2-hour bad anime panel and a 2-hour bad fanfiction panel. By myself? Fuck. So immediately I'm just like, I guess I'll give it a shot. And so what I ended up doing is I recently have picked up a digital camcorder and some other equipment, a tripod and stuff like that for myself. Because, and I was going to mention this later on, but I'm looking at branching off and doing some of my own solo YouTube stuff in the future. I'll talk about that maybe.
No.
Okay. Fuck you.
Do not plug your independent shit.
Why the fuck wouldn't I? Put enough time into this channel. I should get 24 subscribers, maybe. But yeah, I had to go and end up going and doing this thing myself, which I did successfully do. I did 4 hours of panels pretty much back to back by myself. And I recorded it. I have the footage at home. It was fucking awesome. I think there is a little bit of overlap, technically. I read part of Sonic High School, which we did read on one of the previous fanfiction videos. But there's some new stuff in there, too. Like, the first hour or so is all stuff that's not available on YouTube. So, I have the footage. I just need to actually get it edited on my old shitty computer. And once we get that uploaded, it'll show up.
Yep.
So, soon. Probably not before the next episode of Nanoha, but maybe in a week or so, I'm hoping.
There's one more question before we launch into this.
Yeah.
You wanted to go back to it. Darth Bobcat said, I know you aren't fond of a lot of new series. Anything recent you would recommend?
Mm-hmm.
Can't think of the name. My Hero Academia.
Yes.
I recommend that.
I think a lot of people know about My Hero Academia. We started watching...
Oh, so Courtney Amber just asked, have you guys watched My Hero Academia? If so, do you like it? Season 2 is fantastic. Season 1 is okay. Season 1's a good start, but Season 2 is great. Yes.
Will and I watched several episodes of... It's not brand new, but a newer show called Haven't You Heard on Sakamoto. That was a lot of fun.
So it was funny.
It was funny. It was very much in the vein of like Cromartie High School, very irreverent humor.
Very like silly, non sequitur episodes, like completely episodic. Each episode is just a little like gag for like 10 minutes, and then it's another gag for like 10 minutes. But they're all really funny. I enjoyed it. It's silly, it's stupid, and it's kind of like mindless fun. Like it's not trying to be anything or say anything. So sometimes that's cool. And I thought it was really funny.
That was cool. One anime that I watched recently, again, I apologize, I'm not like on the bleeding edge of anime. I usually pick stuff up that's a year or two old.
Yeah, you're about 5 years behind.
I'm not 5 years behind.
You took that so seriously. I'm not 5 years behind.
What the fuck? Stop what you're saying. Amagi Brilliant Park. I watched that one and I was texting Will about it, and I really, really enjoyed that one. I thought that it was a fun, lighthearted show that like actually had characters that had more than one dimension, which was kind of interesting to me. I wasn't expecting anything more than one-dimensional characters out of the show, and I got characters with at least 2.3 dimensions. So,
do I want to crucify myself and talk about how much I absolutely hate Made in Abyss?
Oh, mate, I guess. That's up to you. I haven't seen it, so you should probably try to keep the rant under 15 minutes, though.
It's not much of a rant. I quit watching it because the first 3 episodes were unreasonably terrible. The first 3 episodes were so bad, I got a headache, and I was livid with rage because it was 3 of the worst episodes of an anime I've ever seen in my life. What's Made in Abyss? Made in Abyss.
Yeah.
It's an outrageously popular series because, oh my god, look at the art. Even though in the first fucking episode, they fight like this big flying squid thing, and then it flies off into the background, and when it's flying in the background, it's flying at like 3 frames per second. It's like, and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Sound quality.
Like, I never got to the part where they actually went into the abyss because the setup was so all over the place, so like freight train ramming through everything, and just a shit ton of irrelevant, like almost every character introduced in the first 3 episodes is irrelevant. None of them matter. The premise, like what the abyss is so bizarre. Like this is the abyss. The abyss is ostensibly 100 or more levels down, like layers. And if you go down past a certain point and then come back up, you're gonna have like the bends. You're gonna have disorientation and maybe some sickness. If you go down a bit a significant portion farther than that, and then you come back up, you'll be like bleeding from the ears and you will be severely ill. If you go down a portion further than that and then come back up, you'll just die.
Yeah.
And if you go down even further and try to come back up, you'll just transform into a creature and remain there. And it's not the going down. You can go down as deep as you want and have no problems.
Right, but
coming back up, this shit happens. And I'm watching it, I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense. So here's what I needed. What I needed was for this robot kid character who has no idea what the abyss is at all, to lean forward and go, why does that happen? That's all I needed. All I needed was him to lean forward and go, "That's crazy. Why does that happen?" And for them to go, "Well, we've had scientists looking into it and we can't figure it out." That's all I needed. I didn't need an enumerated exposition dump about exactly why it works that way. I needed a character in the show to also go, "That's really fucking weird. What's the deal with that?" And none of them did. Because the freight train has no brakes. We have to keep moving at 9,000 miles an hour. We can't be bothered to slow down and establish anything or have characters. And like there was a point where I was like, okay, well, they've placed everything in the world, and it's like now the robot kid's gonna go to school, and it's like, oh, okay, so now I'm gonna experience this world. It just cuts to 6 months later.
Yeah.
And then there's all these whole new characters, and then they're gone in one scene and never seen again.
I feel like
it's just like
I feel like the pacing issue is indicative of just like the modern state of anime, because more and more shows these days are all like 12, 13, 12, 11 episodes. Like they're just not being given, and they're not being given like enough time to like build on what they actually
I don't know.
Because I've seen that more often than not. Like almost every new series that's coming out now is like 12 episodes or less. Even if the graphic novel or the manga or whatever it's based on, in Made in Abyss's case, it's based on a web comic, but it's a really detailed web comic.
Sure.
But it's they have source material continuing onwards for ages, but it's like nope, 12 episodes, no more. Maybe it's financial stuff in Japan. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's a financial thing because like I've noticed that's been happening. The first season of My Hero Academia is 13 episodes. But the second season is 25.
Right.
So it took off, and now they got bigger seasons. It's kind of like it does seem like they're not putting as much money into like first seasons of things that aren't guaranteed properties or something like that.
Well, yeah. Well, think back in the day. It's like so many classic anime were 26 episodes right out the gate.
To get back to Made in Abyss, like I never got to the series proper because I got a headache and I was so angry because I had so many questions because nothing made any sense. They were just like throwing things at me. There's a point where they ostensibly these kids are in school to become miners or whatever they're called. I don't know. I can't remember. They go down into the abyss and they find artifacts and bring them back up. And they've got different levels, like different colored belts of martial arts. And the kids are going to be red whistles, and the highest level is white whistles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, sure, no complaints. All right, that's fine. And then they tell you what white whistles are, and I'm like, this is so stupid. I can't continue watching because the white whistles aren't whistles that. My head's imploding trying to explain this. White whistles are whistles that are found in the abyss, but they only work for the person who finds them. I fucking hate this show. It's just like, why? Is it technology? No, it's just an artifact. Okay, does it have iris readers? Does it sample your DNA from your lips? Does it have like fucking fingerprint recognizers? Why the fuck? And are you telling me that this is down in the abyss? No one has ever touched this thing before ever? Like you can't just throw something like that so like specific and weird and not like give any lip service to how it fucking works. You can't be like, there's this fucking handmade ornate whistle down there that only works for the person who finds it. Because okay, great. And I again, it's a case of like I don't need them to like exposition dump. Here are the specifics of exactly how this works because that would be shitty too. I would just love for this fish out of water character, since that's the trope they're going with the robot kid. Like I would love for him to just ask these questions. What's that? Why? Huh? What does this work? He knows nothing about the world, but he doesn't give a shit about any of it either. So maybe when there's a dub, I'll put it on in the background while I'm doing something else and try to watch it. But And you know what? For all I know, the rest of the series could be amazing. But Jesus Christ, those first 2.5 episodes that I made it through did such an awful job that I just rage quit the series.
What it sounds like to me is it sounds like they may have whitewashed the history of the White Whistle.
I will not have any Charles Dickens references in this fucking... It's not Charles Dickens. It's not Charles Dickens. I'm such a retard.
Fuck you.
How can you not...
Charles Dickens.
I have Courtney Amber. How can you not care about magic DNA whistles? Valid point.
Good point.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to respond to the recent backlash Chen Lawson's been having recently? Well, I was contacted by Obscurus Lupa regarding a document that she and the other producers who left have been putting together that's going to be released on April 2nd, Monday, and I contributed to it and wrote in our thoughts. They are somewhat scathing. I read through a bunch of it, which a lot of it was stuff that... A lot of the stuff that has come to light came to light after we left. We left, as I said in our video, exclusively because of what happened to Chaos D1 and what happened to Tom White. I don't think I named him specifically, but he's named specifically in the document now, so it's not going to matter. Because of the way they were treated, we were not comfortable being with the site and we left. It was since then that a lot of this stuff that involved Linkara, even more details of stuff that Allison went through. There's a lot. This document is very long. I've read through what was there at the time, and none of this was stuff that we were aware of when we were there. It wasn't talked about. Nobody brought it up, because why would you? It's awful shit. But yeah, since I have contributed our opinions, the stuff we saw and the stuff we experienced on the site that was negative. It pales in comparison to the shit a lot of those people had to deal with, and it will be publicly viewable. And I volunteered. I was DMing Allison on Twitter, and I said I'm going to repost it as much as I possibly can to get as much attention to it as possible, because people need to know this shit. So that answers that.
Courtney is asking what backlash.
It's hard to know if you're not on the inside of it, but
It'll be detailed in that.
It'll be detailed in that. People are leaving in droves.
Yeah.
Producers are leaving in droves. This kind of started around the time I left. Around the time I left, a few other people were leaving, and then, a few months later, someone will leave, and a few months later, someone will leave. Now Linkara left. Mars Girl left. Lotus Prince left. But people are dropping like flies. They're all getting the hell out, because there was a lot of information leaked recently that was not previously available, that was not previously known about, at least by us, probably by most people who were even on the site, and a lot of those people responded very poorly to it, and they left. So you'll have all the information available once this document is dropped on Monday, and maybe I'll do a video where I go through it. I haven't decided for sure on that yet. I would like to. I have not. I would probably do a stream where I just read through it and discussed it. I've not decided for sure on that. You guys let me know if that's something you'd be interested in watching or not. Let's see if there was any more questions.
Well, while he's looking for questions, just real quick, I was going to, I mentioned before, I have some YouTube project stuff that I'm working on my own. I don't know if anyone out there is aware, but I'm a pretty big board game nerd, and I also really enjoy Magic the Gathering. So I'm looking at putting together a channel. I've actually got a channel name reserved and everything like that for doing board game tutorials. And I'm going to start off by just doing some Magic the Gathering content. I want to be looking at putting together deck techs for Commander. If anyone is a fan of Magic, there's a format in it called EDH or Commander. So I'm going to be doing some deck tech videos just to practice editing because honestly I've done like no editing before this. Getting those out there, and then I will be doing like formal board game tutorial videos to help people, learn how to play board games or show it to their friends to teach them how to play a board game real fast.
Yeah. Except nobody cares. So
I said I was going to bring it up earlier. But jeez.
Okay, we have.
Also, because Will is so slow at doing anything, I have to do something in my free time.
Some people keep mentioning Overlord. You heard of Overlord? What is this Overlord anime that we're being? What's your thought on the new season of Code Geass? It doesn't exist. I'm not reviewing it. Go to hell.
Mob Psycho 100. I am interested in watching. I haven't watched it yet though.
I don't know what that is.
It's done by the same guy who did One Punch Man.
Okay. I haven't watched One Punch Man yet either.
One Punch Man is very.
How much time do you think I have?
Apparently a lot, because you haven't been releasing any fucking reviews.
Right, exactly. That's how much time I have. I have lots of time at work, but obviously I'm not going to do this stuff at work.
I don't know. How many times have you watched Breaking Bad now? Is this time number 4?
3.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I like Breaking Bad more than like Princess Tutu. For whoever said we need to watch Princess Tutu, I tried. Not my cup of tea. I can't say it was bad, just not for me.
Couple of questions, not chosen one, asked if we're D&D fans. We both used to play Pathfinder forever ago. It's basically D&D, just a different license.
Yes.
That's fun. I burned myself out on D&D and Pathfinder a while back. I kind of feel like I've seen most of what they have to offer, and a lot of play these days are going into like these sanctioned games like Pathfinder Society and Dungeons and Dragons Society, and like you have to fucking like follow specific rules, and it's too much work. I'll just play board games. I like board games more.
Animerica, any thoughts on the announcement for 2nd edition? 2nd edition what?
Pathfinder probably.
Oh.
I think they did announce Pathfinder 2nd edition. Maybe they're talking about something else.
I didn't know about that. Is that going to be okay?
I don't know. I'm not really following it, to be honest. My old roommate.
Zoneblade 90. Watch My Hero Academia. Yeah. That's how you pick a good recent shonen series.
That's a good one. We missed one from Craig Palmer up above. He asked, "Is there an anime that you feel would be hard to review?"
I was going to go back to that.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, if there is an anime that's hard to review.
Was there an anime we tried to review and had to give up on?
Was there?
Yes.
What one was it?
Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, we're doing it again anyway.
We're doing it again. Yeah, I guess we're trying again.
Because I hate it.
We tried to review Gurren Lagann ages ago. I think it was for Cover by Cover Season 2.
No, it was Animerica Season 3.
Oh, really?
Or no,
I thought it was just a Cover by Cover.
Maybe it was Cover by Cover, yeah.
Because we watched like an episode and a half of it and we just gave up on it because it was...
To an extent, it was self-aware. The problem was, you're right, it was Cover by Cover. Because the point with Cover by Cover is more... we focus more on making it entertaining because ultimately we're only talking about 2 episodes, so we can't call it a review. It's like a first impressions type of thing.
Right.
So we can't give summarized opinions of like, this is what the show is. That's why the conclusion of each episode is whether or not we would continue watching based on the first couple episodes. So to make up for the fact that we can't render conclusive analysis, make it more entertaining. And we're watching Gurren Lagann and can't come up with any funny jokes because it's kind of a comedy, and it's having rewatched it to an extent. It's not self-aware enough to call it self-aware.
Sure. It's
self-aware to the extent that it's like, man, this show sucks, doesn't it?
It's part of the problem, and I don't know, for those of you who have actually seen our Cover by Cover episodes and everything, hopefully most of you, if you're in our little 23-person stream, most of the episodes of Cover by Cover that we do have like a comedic slant. Like we try to entertain, we do jokes, we do skits, all that stuff. The hardest ones to do by far are comedies. Like really intense, like actually very funny comedies. If it's a comedy that sucks, we can have a good time making fun of it. But like a good, well thought out comedy is really hard to review. And just because it's like you're trying to make jokes about jokes that are already being made. So it's like you're trying to one up the jokes in the show, and those are it's really tough. So, one of the episodes was the season 3 finale, actually, the Cromartie High School episode. That one was the whole way that we tackled that, because we almost had the same problem with that. We watched 4 episodes of it because they're 15-minute episodes, and we were both like, how do we write this?
Yeah.
How do we write this review? And I ended up coming up with the idea to do the whole parallel universe.
The glitch world stuff.
Yeah, the glitch world where like we were Cromartie High School characters, basically just doing more Cromartie High School skits. That's we expounded on the humor of the show instead of trying to conflict with it.
Yeah, and then I added on like the glitch closet that produces anime for us to watch now.
The glitch. How's the glitch closet been, by the way?
Oh, it's been just fine. It's happy with life. The glitch closet. That was one of the worst ideas I ever had, but it worked.
It worked. It was cool. That's an interesting little point. But yeah, no, that's in a general aspect, it's tough to do reviews of self-referential stuff. If we were to review Haven't You Heard I'm Sakamoto, we'd probably have a similar thing. Like we'd have to figure out a creative way to like be entertaining with the discussion rather than
absolutely
stupid.
It's not meat because there's not meat to attack there. It's just this is silly for the point this is silly for the purpose of being silly. So there's not a whole lot you can do with that unless you get creative. Hey guys, thoughts on Steins Gate? It's one of the best anime ever made.
Sucks.
There's our thoughts.
No, it's very good.
We ever do a 25 the hard way or review of the original Evangelion TV series? It's looking less and less likely because I don't know how reasonable Animerica season 4 is at this point in our life.
Yeah. Or we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, there is the whole other. I guess I don't know if we should discuss that yet.
Thoughts on the new Steins Gate spin-off? Are you talking about Steins Gate 0? I have not had a chance to play it yet. I really want to. Because you told me about that. You're the one who was like, oh my god, Will, look at this. And then I was like, oh my god, I gotta get it. And then I just never did.
The video game or the movie?
The video game.
Oh. They came out with a movie, too.
Hikaru no Go, yes, it's one of my all-time favorites, and you can't watch it anywhere.
Oh, cool.
And it's the
Steins Gate is getting spin-off.
Getting an anime in spring. Steins Gate 0.
Cool.
Oh god, it'd probably suck.
So only showed us up. So do you know anything about?
I want you guys to understand that the only Steins Gate is in a series of. It's like an anthology series of games. I only know 3 of them: Chaos Head, Steins Gate, and Robotics Notes. Those 3 have been made into anime. The only one that was any good at all was Steins Gate. So, like, I have no hope for Steins Gate 0 being a good show because Steins Gate is such a good show because it was such a linear game. The others are not. So it's hard to, like... Steins Gate is an extremely linear game. Like, the specific ending you get changes, but obviously there's a canon ending. And it's just... I don't know that Steins Gate 0 would necessarily make for a good anime. I'll find out. Maybe it'll be awesome. Not gonna get hyped for it though, because
there's a question from Gabe the Gen. Is that what it says?
Gabe the Gen.
What are some of the manliest anime you can think of? Bobobo is pretty fucking manly.
Yeah, that's true. There's Redline.
Redline is awesome. Baki the Grappler.
Fucking amazing. Berkey the Gerpler. Baki the Grappler, yes.
Your boxing one, Hajime no Ippo?
Hajime no Ippo is great, yeah. I don't own that anymore.
Oh, you sold it? Oh, that's right. Yeah, Fighting Spirit's pretty cool.
It's gone way down in price now. It's like, you might be able to get the whole, if you could find both seasons, you could get the whole, like, you get, like, the whole, what's the company that went out of business? Yeah, you get the whole Jenny on Fighting Spirit version for like $250 or something. Oh, that's okay. It used to be like $500 or $600.
Yeah, so you sold it at a good time, I guess.
Yeah. Animerica, have you ever seen a time travel story done quite to the same level as Steins Gate? No. Steins Gate is the best time travel story that has ever been told. I'm serious.
It is.
It has like, it's not the best story ever told in,
Yeah.
or even the best story ever told in an anime, but as far as a time travel story goes, it's absolutely, like, especially as far as like the time travel in the story. I've watched the show 4 times. I couldn't find a single like hole in logic or plot hole in terms of everything involving the time travel.
Mm.
It's extremely tight and like meticulously plotted. So yes.
The thing with time travel stuff is like there's lots of good media out there that involves time travel to an extent. Like obviously Terminator, Terminator 2, those both do it well, but they just kind of forget like the whole, paradox element to it. They're just like, fuck it, we went back in time and now we're saving John Connor or whatever. Stuff like that. There's also it's not anime obviously, but recently Live Die Repeat, The Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
Edge of Tomorrow,
that movie was fine, and then it had a massive problem with the ending that made no sense.
Yeah, the ending was a little dumb, but like the glitchiness, like kind of the Groundhog's Day, like time jumping or whatever, that was cool. Like that's, if you find different ways to explore time travel, it's interesting. Steins Gate is the best example of something that takes like traditional I am going back in time and really does it right. Like it's just so solidly written and it's engaging enough that like you just don't find that in a lot of other media that's out there.
Yes. And someone said Primer. Yeah, Primer's a mess though, because Primer's a mess because they ran out of budget, and there's a sequence like at the 2/3 point of the movie, or maybe the 3/4 point of the movie, where you can't tell what the fuck is happening because they didn't have the budget to shoot it how they wanted, and it's just a clusterfuck. And unless you like figure it out somehow, or unless you, like I did, read a blog on the internet where the guy's like, this is what happened in this scene. The rest of the movie doesn't make any sense, and you can't follow what the fuck just went on because this pivotal point in the plot is just like slashed together from weird camera angles, and you're not sure exactly what you're seeing.
Not the Chosen One asked us, what's your guys' favorite review you've ever done?
Favorite review?
I know what mine is.
Mine's Clannad After Story. What's yours?
Oh, sure. The Hibernate Renmei. I think Hibernate Renmei... Hibernate Renmei was actually my favorite review that we've done, and I have a specific reason for it, actually, thinking about it. A lot of times...
You slept like a baby? Is that it?
Yes, yes. When Will and I do reviews for these shows, we do our commentary to it, we put our own spins on it, but we don't always agree, obviously. There are some times where we let that show, like obviously we'll have arguments and stuff in the script and in the show. There are other times where we have to tone it back because the whole show can't just be us fighting or whatever. Like, if you really like it and I really don't like it, or vice versa, we can't have the whole episode be that.
And when it's cover by cover, that's what the end of the script is. We don't tailor like the ending of the script to what's convenient. If we watch a show and Joe's like, I really like that, I'm going to continue watching this, and I'm like, I thought it was shit. We'll talk about it, and then
we'll give our reasons for it too.
So it's being recorded on video, and then the script at the end will have us. That will be it, and we'll give our reasons for it, properly articulated in written form, not just the moment after it happened, but like So you'll always know exactly what we think because we're not dumbing it down, and we're not pretending when that's our opinion. So.
Well, but with the Hibernate Renmei one, it's like I can't remember the last time where like we have both so pitch perfectly agreed on everything that was wrong with this show. Like, and it was so definable and it was so easily like discernible. And it's bizarre because usually when there are anime that are out there that are like acclaimed, so-called, one or the other of us will find some goodness out of it.
Yeah.
Like we'll watch it and Will might be like, that kind of sucked, and I'll be like, I enjoyed it, a bit. If it's widely acclaimed.
99% of the time, that's how it goes.
Right.
99% of the time, I'm much more like intensely critical is not the right word. Like I'm analyzing it a lot more, like in real time as we're watching it. Joe likes to think about things more deeply after the fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, so more often than not, that's how it goes. That exactly that. What the hell was that? I liked it. That's usually how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's another thing. We actually have had this discussion before. When if we go and see a movie or something, like we'll go down to the local Cineplex, and we'll see a movie. We'll walk out of it, and Will be like, "That's the worst thing I've ever seen." Like, and he'll have like his whole dissertation already written in his head.
Or I'll be like, "That was so amazing. I love that. What did you think, Joe?"
And I can never come up with like a good answer right after the fact. If I watch something and you turn to me and you're like, "What did you think?" My answer is always going to be, "It was all right." Like I can't like I have to think about it. I have to process it for a while. Like, and I did the exact same thing with like Star Wars Rogue One. When I watched it, I was like, "That was all right," and then like 2 days later, I was like, "That sucked! What the fuck? I hated everything about this movie." But yeah, with Hayao Renmei, just coming back to that, it was like writing that was a blast just because of how miserable of an experience it was. But it was mutually miserable, and we were able to identify why.
So the most miserable thing that has ever happened to either of us. Well, there's been a lot, but I think the most miserable thing that's ever happened was when I realized that I had deleted the last third of the viewing.
I had to rewatch it. Oh my god! Oh,
I had realized I had deleted like the last 6 or 7 episodes of viewing for Gilgamesh.
Oh yeah.
And we had to go back and watch it again. Oh. And I called Joe, and the tone of my voice was that my grandmother had died, and I was just like, "Joe, I was just looking through the viewing for Gilgamesh, and I deleted like 6 episodes of it. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry."
Yeah, I was.
And his response was, "Are you serious?" Like
I thought I just hung up
on
you.
No. He was like, "Are you serious?" There was no comedy in this phone call at this point. Not yet. Like I was.
You were mortified.
I was ashamed. Yeah. He was unhappy.
But we came back. We rewatched it. We had fun or whatever. I guess kind of. I'm scrolling up because we missed a bunch of scroll. Sure. Courtney Amber asked if we like Death Note. We do have a cover by cover episode for it.
That one was very much like not commenting on its quality though.
Yeah.
Yes, I think Death Note is an extremely good series to watch exactly once. I have never been able to watch it again because I know everything that happened, and there's not a lot of rewatchability to it in my book.
It was significantly weaker on the second watching. Like I did just recently watch it a second time. Significantly weaker. But the manga actually holds up a little bit better to repeated readings. Because I think that there's a little bit more you can find in the manga, like a few extra like hidden pieces, and sort of like, oh, I sort of realized what they're doing here, stuff that they just didn't catch for the anime.
Someone, I don't know who, I logged the question. Someone asked, "Who's your waifu of this year?" And the answer to that is none, because I'm a faithful man. I only have one waifu, and that is Haruhi Suzumiya, the one and only. It's an adult version of her. Shut the fuck up. Steins Gate best girl Mayuri. I will fucking fight you. You piece of shit.
Zoneblade asked thoughts on Sergeant Frog or Zatch Bell. I've never seen Zatch Bell. I have seen a good chunk of Sergeant Frog though. It's very funny.
I never got into Sergeant Frog too long.
Okay.
That's it. That's the only comment I have.
Sure. I enjoyed it. That was fun.
Anybody who wants best girl Mayuri.
Thoughts on Konosuba? AAA1E2R3. AAA1E2R3. Your name. You need to reevaluate the decisions you've made. Your name. AAA1E2R3.
Yeah, I saw.
It's not even like a Star Wars droid because you have the hyphenates.
Right. This is gonna be the last question we answer because people are ducking out and I'm ready to duck out because I hate it.
Konosuba, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm interested to.
I'm going for an hour, so
all right.
This will be the end.
What's your last question?
The last question is most fake deep thing you ever watched. I don't think that show was trying to be deep though.
Fake deep.
Most fake deep thing, like pretentious, like trying really hard to be deep and being like utterly superficial and shitty.
That's a tough one because like there's a lot of anime out there that think that they're way smarter than they are.
Thing, not necessarily anime.
It's Thing.
What the fuck? There was a movie I saw, dude. The guy was trying so hard to be David Lynch. I can't fucking think. It was just shit. I can't remember what it was. Fake deep. I would go almost so far as to say the new run of Twin Peaks is fake deep. I don't think David Lynch knows what the fuck he's doing anymore. I think he's out of his mind because all the shit is just so ridiculous that I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I'm someone who's been able to discern a lot from every single one of his movies. And this one, I'm just like, he's just old and crazy now.
Yep. He's been crazy for a while. It's just he managed to do some things right in the past.
So fake deep thing.
Gilgamesh?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That show did think it was extremely deep.
Gilgamesh thought it was so smart.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Bloody piss. That was a commentary on something, somehow. It had to be, otherwise why was it there?
Recent, well, we're gonna go back to the anime thing again. Recent, kind of grimdark. It was getting a lot of positive hype, but I'm gonna have to say Devilman Crybaby. I did not care for that show.
I didn't even...
Yeah,
You have a lot of selling to do when the name of the show is Devilman Crybaby, and the official description of the show hypes up what a crybaby the main character is. I do not want to watch a show about some beta male cuck whiny blubbering vagina. It's not like, and if you're telling me that's what the show is, I'm just not gonna click on it.
It felt like it was going for edge for the sake of edge, like way more often than it needed to. And like there were plot elements, like major plot elements that happened in the blink of an eye that were like, this is supremely impactful to all of the characters, and now you see the emotional repercussions of this. But it was done in like 30 seconds. Like characters we had never ever met prior to this, like they die, and then it's super dramatic for everyone. It's like
for 30 seconds.
It was bizarre. Yeah, I don't know. It felt like it thought it was a lot smarter than it was, and it thought it, throwing all the grim edge, ultra violence and all that stuff in there. It just I didn't finish it. I watched like the first 2/3 of it and I gave up. Yep. I did give it more than 2 episodes though. I watched like 5 or 6 episodes of it.
I was debating watching it. The name was just so shit that I was just like, I don't know if I can watch this. It sounds too fucking stupid.
Oh, come on, man. The name's so cool.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on this evening.
Before we wrap up, one more reminder about the episode on Monday.
Yes. Oh, and also someone asked me this on Twitter. We will be at Animerica, May 25th through the 27th. With another bad fan fiction panel, another bad anime panel, giving away good anime again. So if you guys are in the area, you want to come out and see us, that's where it will be. Yep. Until then, everybody, have a good night.
Good night.
And now I get to awkwardly turn and disrupt the clean end that we could have had.
I'll entertain them.